This is the Blockade Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Freebus, and today with 8-Ball Deluxe, we're gonna tackle drop targets. I've done these before because I had a couple break and I had some spares and I put them in and they're all nasty, so that's why we're replacing them with all brand new. It's not terribly complicated, but let's see what it actually entails. So we've got our main bank of 7 drop targets here. We've got our inline drop targets of 4 over here. And then we've got our 8-ball drop target, which is a singular one right here. This one is interesting because it is all very much wired in. You can't just take off the entire bracket and work on it that way. But since it's only one, it should be very easy to access. As opposed to this and that one, we can just unclip, unscrew, and remove the entire bank and then work on it that way. Makes life much easier. So here it is in all its glory, out of here, and the question is, how do we get in there? I think the answer is we're gonna unscrew this bottom plate, but I honestly don't know, I don't remember. So I'm gonna experiment around and come back to you guys and tell you what the results were. So I'm sure I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I really hate C-clamps. So I have to take off one C-clamp on each of these in order to slide this out. Right, so that's gonna come out. And then, in order to get the drop target off, you'll notice it's hooked on the bottom. So I need to be able to completely move that bracket, which means I need to remove this whole dowel rod, which you guessed it was connected with more C-clamps. So that's what I'm going to do, and then of course there's a spring inside that you just disconnect, and then drop target should just slide right out the bottom. All right, back at it. All right, now that I got my technique figured out, I figured I'd show you what I'm doing here. So, gonna remove the C-clip off of the drop target by leveraging. There we go. Then we slide that out, slide that out. I'm going to use my Never Dull, just give this a quick once over, just so that it's semi-clean. Do the same thing to that little axle. Use a cloth to polish it off. I'm not trying to get it, ultra shiny or anything, just so it's cleaner. And I actually did polish up everything in there, again, just for the sake of getting in there while we have access. And then I take my brand new drop target, I drop that in like so, take my axle, put it in my C-clip or E-clip, whatever these are. Get it started. Pinch the rest of the way in. And then I go ahead and slot my target in. Take a spring. That Actually, it's easiest to attach it before sliding it in. There we go. And hook it into place. It's good to go. As with things of this nature go, it's a different day. I had enough time to deal with the main drop targets, and then I had to take care of other things. So here we are on a different day, and today we're going to be tackling the rest of the drop targets. So as you can tell, I like to just take steel wool to everything. Rub a little Never or Dole on there, wipe it off, polish it. Just, I don't know when the next time this will ever be cleaned. And I'm just getting the gunk that's collected over the time. But take a look at, though, for your vertical drop target assembly, it's got this fun little U-joint to make it, that's how it will go up and down, as opposed to the other one, which went directly behind to kick it up and down. Just kind of something interesting. So I'm going to do the same things I did on those, where I'm just going to go ahead and pop these off, polish these up, put in the new ones. All right, so the forward bank is now reinstalled, and things I learned. First off, these little bolts are supposed to be accessible through these holes. You can, I don't know if you can see anyway. That only works if you have a screwdriver that goes all the way down, and mine are all too thick and so they budged up. So that meant I had to take apart this on the front and back to disassemble this so that I could get into there. Now, something else I didn't realize was this little bracket here is actually a stop for the bottom of your drop target. So that took some readjusting also to just fine-tune, make sure that it's spacing properly, so that on the other side of the world, your drop target isn't going high and getting hit by the ball. It needs to be all the way down low. So, lessons learned, but that's now all back and installed. So the 8-ball drop target, I'm not sure how to attack this thing. With the other two drop targets, they had, you could disconnect the wires. This one, well, I've got the wires for the leaf springs attached right in, and then I've got the solenoid coil attached. Now, I could go ahead and unscrew this from that bracket and leave it hanging. I could do the same thing with the leaf springs. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do, but I guess the only way to figure it out is to dive in and see what the best method is. All right, all the drop targets are installed. Let's see what they look like.
Ball, Deluxe, 3 ball.
Well, those look good. Why did those drop? That's an interesting question. Let's see what happens when we power on for the new game. I gotta add a credit. Huh. Okay, so that's obviously something I'm gonna have to work on to see why those are dropping down immediately. Good, and
Nice shot.
all right. Let's make sure that we have everything tagging.
Rack 'em up.
Well, it racked up just fine that time. So we'll see if that becomes a problem and what adjustments need to be made otherwise. Okay, so everything seems to be resetting on the drop targets just fine. I don't know what to think of this. Is the ball supposed to basically get stuck? Yeah, I don't think so. I can't get... So is that a case of I need to adjust those so they're up a little bit higher? So that doesn't happen. And then the other thing is, watch what happens when I do knock down the 8 target. And now it just does that until I land in a saucer. Once that pops up, it stops. Or it doesn't. Oh no, now it's going crazy too.
Get the C. Make the C.
So, suggestions? Because I don't know what's going on there. So there we have it. Drop targets have been replaced. These are the old nasty ones that were not necessarily for the machine. They were just extras. I'll clean them up and keep them as extras just in case any of the drop targets break. Because, it's nice to have something for a backup. But there you go. They're replaced. Now, I never said this is a tutorial on how to do things. This is just me figuring out how to do things. That 8-ball drop target and it firing a score afterwards, I'm completely clueless on what is doing that. I looked, there's a little capacitor on the wire, nothing seems to be touching. When I had it vertical for a moment, it wasn't doing anything. The second I started leaning it, it started doing. So clearly something's rubbing and touching. I need advice. If you have any idea of what to check and how to go about checking it, please put that in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate it. Next time, though, we're going to... I don't know what next time's going to be. We'll tackle something next time. But I appreciate any of the help that you can offer me with figuring some of this stuff out. Till then, bye-bye.